The brother on my right.
Good evening, everybody. I'm a student of Sabasiddhic. My name is Harsh Wagela. I want to ask a question that after the death of human being, dead body should be burnt out or should be buried?
The brother posed the question that after a human being dies, should his body be burnt or should it be buried? Let's analyze scientifically which is more appropriate. Brother, as I told in my talk, or in the question and answer time, I believe, that the elements, the constituent of human beings, is present in lesser or greater quantity in the soil, in the earth. So we are created from earth, we should go back to earth, it's logical. More easier for us to go back into the earth, point number one. Point number two is that if we burn a body, there is pollution. There's environmental hazard. Environmental hazard is there. When you bury a body, there is no environmental hazard. In fact, the place where you bury, point number three, the ground and the surrounding ground becomes more fertile. Point number four, it is very cheap to bury. You don't require any money. Earth is freely available. There are graveyards. But to cremate, to burn, you require tons and tons of wood. Therefore, every year, if it's statistics, our government goes in loss of millions of rupees because they're burning wood. Loss to environment, environmental problem, hazard, and plus waste of money. If you calculate the amount of people that are dying, amount of people that are burning, it's a loss of money, hazard to the environment. It's much more logical and scientific to bury the body than to burn. Hope that answers the question.
I would, after the next two questions are over, I will allow some questions on slip. I'm told that some ladies would have written questions on slips. They would not like to ask on mic, or there are some other people also. So we'll allow some questions. The questions which have come on slip can be passed on to me after the question. And unless if there is some brother who's a non-Muslim, I have told them they have not had enough opportunity, so that we will make an exception to that. They can ask on the mic. Otherwise, I read questions from the slip after the next two questions are over.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Khalid and I am a student. It's mentioned in Quran that sun and other planets revolve and rotate in a fixed orbit. And at the other place relating to the doomsday, it's mentioned that earth will collide with sun in somewhat a spiral form. When revolution and rotation can, then the phenomenon of collision takes place, how is it possible?
The brother posed the question that it says that the sun and the earth rotate, and some places it says sun and the earth will collide. Some places it says that. But as I told you, there are certain statements in the Quran talking about the signs of the Day of Judgment. And I myself quoted in Surah Qiyamah, chapter 75, verse number 8 and 9, that the sun and the moon will join together. When? On the Day of Judgment, not today. It's giving you signs of Day of Judgment. It's not telling you that today it will happen. The name of the surah is Surah Qiyamah, Day of Resurrection, and gives various signs that the moon will be buried in darkness, the stars will fall down, the ocean will swell up, etc. These are signs of the Day of Judgment. Has it happened? No. But before the world ends, it will surely happen. Hope that answers the question. Nowhere does the Quran say a normal circumstance will happen.
One question I'll ask now on the slip, then on the mic. One on the slip, then on the mic. The question on the slip is, it is mentioned in one verse of the Quran that Allah is the Lord of the two east and two west. How can you explain this verse of the Quran scientifically?
The question posed was that the Holy Quran mentions that Allah is the Lord of two east and two west. How can you explain scientifically? What the person is referring to is a verse in the Holy Quran from Surah Rahman, chapter number 55, verse number 17, which says, Rabbul Mashriqani wal Rabbul Maghribani, that Allah is the Lord of two east and two west. In Arabic, we have two types of plural. One is dual plural and one is plural more than two. Here, Rabbul Mashriqani is dual plural, that Allah is the Lord of two east and Lord of two west. Let's see what science has to say about that. And we know that the sun rises from the east and it sets in the west. But Science tells us today that the sun rises from the due east only on 2 days. Exact east. In the other times, if you notice, the point of rising of the sun keeps on varying. It rises exactly due east only on 2 days, the 2 days of equinox. All the other days, it either rises south or north of east. Similarly, it rises from one extreme of the east in the summer solstice and rises from the other extreme of the east in winter solstice. Similarly, the sun sets in due west only on 2 days of equinox. All the other days, it either sets south or north of due west. It sets in one extreme of west in the summer solstice and sets in the other extreme of west in the winter solstice. So when the Quran says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the Lord of 2 east and 2 west, it is referring to the 2 extreme points of east and 2 extreme points of west. But there's another verse in the Holy Quran, in Surah Marij, chapter number 70, verse number 40, which says that Allah is the Lord of easts and wests. It is not dual plural, it is plural more than 2. That Allah is the Lord of easts and the Lord of wests. Therefore, Allah is the Lord of all the various points in east. So in short, Allah is the Lord of 2 extreme points of east, 2 extreme points of west, and all the points in between in the west, and all the points in between in the east.
Next question from the ladies' side, please.
Assalamu alaikum, Brother Zakir. My name is Malika Muhammad Islam. My question is that what does the Quran mean when it says that Allah sent down iron from the heaven?
The sisters asked the question, what does the Quran mean when it says that Allah has sent down iron from the heaven? The verse the sister is referring to, the Holy Quran, is in Surah Hadith, chapter 57, which means iron, verse number 25, which says that Allah has sent down iron, in which there is material for war and various benefits for the human beings. The Arabic word used for send down is anzala. It means to send down. Now anzala can be looked at in 2 different ways. One way is Allah has sent down, Allah has revealed. So Allah has revealed that in iron there is a lot of use and material for mighty war, as well as benefits for humankind. Allah has revealed this, that in iron there is material for war and various benefits. And we know today that iron is one of the most important metals we know of. From it we get steel. And steel and iron is used for making instruments of war, like weapons, swords, spears, guns, etc. It's even used for making instruments of peace, like bricklayer, instruments of an engineer, instruments of an architect, knife, fork, spoon, etc. So, if you read the first meaning, it says that Allah has revealed that in iron there is various benefits and material for mighty war. The other way, if you take literally, that iron has been sent down from heaven. This verse was shown to Professor Armstrong. That what do you have to comment on Surah Hadith, chapter 57, verse number 25, it says that iron has been sent down from heaven. So he tells us that it's recently that the scientists have come to know about the formation process of various elements. And they say that the energy required to make 1 atom of iron, it's so enormous that the energy of the whole solar system is not sufficient. And a calculation was made that energy 4 times that of the solar system is made to produce 1 atom of iron. Means the energy of the moon, the stars, the sun, all these energies if you take of the planets, etc., of only the planets of the solar system and the sun and the moon, it will not be sufficient to produce 1 atom of iron. Scientists today tell us that iron is an extraterrestrial metal, which is confirming the Quranic ayat, if you take it literally, that iron has been sent down from the heaven.
The next question from the slip. There was a philosopher in 6th century BC who said that the earth rotates about its own axis and the planets move around the sun. The Quran also gives the indication of a similar scientific fact. Some people allege that the Prophet copied these points from the philosopher. Please comment.
The question posed was that there was a philosopher in 6th century BC who said the planets and the earth rotate around the sun. So maybe the Prophet copied from the philosopher, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. I do agree that in the 6th century BC, the Pythagoreans, these people, they defended the theory that the earth and the planets, they rotate and they revolved around the sun. But to say that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, copied from them is illogical, because these people fail to realize that the same Pythagoreans, they also defended the theory that the sun was the center of the universe. The sun was fixed. It did not rotate, neither did it revolve. So to say that Prophet Muhammad copied those 2 points, earth and planets rotate and they revolve, and didn't copy the point which says that the sun was center of universe, the sun was fixed, it did not rotate, it did not revolve, is illogical. I do know that there are various philosophers whose works of antiquity gives us ideas, and they say several things. But if you analyze the works of philosophers of antiquity, their works is mixed with invalid and valid ideas. People normally quote the valid ideas, they forget that they even left behind invalid ideas. They were great thinkers. The difference between these philosophers who predicted and the Quran is, these philosophers only thought and predicted, and they made even false statements. The Quran, alhamdulillah, more than 1,000 verses speak about science and not a single is wrong. The difference is Quran gives a challenge. To say that Prophet Muhammad copied from these people and didn't copy the negative point, maybe 1 or 2 it's possible, it was fluke. But to say that all the thousands of verses the Quran speaks about science were copied is illogical, because Quran gives the challenge. أَفَلَّا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ وَلَوْ كَانَ مِنْ عِنْدِ غَيْرِ اللَّهِ لَوَجَدُوا فِيهِ اخْتِلَافًا كَثِيرًا. In Surah Nisa, chapter 4, verse number 82, do you not consider the Quran with care? Had it been from anyone besides Allah, there would have been many contradictions.